It's week 8 in the NFL, and GameDay View is giving you winners for every game on the slate, including Cowboys Vikings and that love fest between the Steelers and Browns. And I mean that earnestly. Not.
From the 4. Why not? Give it to Johnson. He's off a rub hit. He going to the goal line. Touchdown! How about that?
We've got Cynthia's player projections, Greg's sneaky good survivor pool pick, and one of us goes full Gronk. Yeah. Literally.
Welcome to NFL Game Day View, presented by Mercedes EQ. It's spooky today. Happy early Halloween. To celebrate, we are going to talk about the most trash Halloween candy that you can see. What are you going with?
The nachos and cheese that Baker gives out in those commercials.
How dare you?
That's pretty
Nachos
bad.
and
That's
cheese are
rude.
delicious.
I mean, it's all over the rest of the candy. Come on.
A little rude. Cynthia, what are you doing?
I don't like when people give you pennies. I love a good penny.
Pennies?
Pennies?
Yeah, people will give you
For
pennies.
going like weirdos, yeah. Sometimes people give you raisins, but I think
Oh,
Almond Joy as a no one wants some Almond Joy.
Yeah.
Almond Joy you're
They
going
won't be
with?
sponsoring this
I'm
show.
going to go with anything that has coconut in it. Mounds, coconut,
Yeah.
chewing it for 5 minutes, just absolute trash. All right, we are going to break down things other than Halloween candy, and we are going to start with the Cowboys Vikings game. Dak is questionable as of the time we tape. And this line has jumped all over the place from Cowboys to Vikings favored. Huck, what are you going with in this one?
Yeah, I'm assuming that Dak is going to play.
Okay.
And I am
Hopeful.
going with the Cowboys 24-17. And what I'm looking at specifically is Trayvon Deshaun Diggs. You got to keep your streak going,
What with the
buddy.
middle name?
You know, even though Kid Cousins does not turn the ball over as much as he used to, he actually has thrown, I think, 2 picks this year. That doesn't matter. And although your pass defense is actually the weakness of your defense, I think they're 28th in the league, coaches would always preach to us. They would say before the game, if you win the turnover battle, you have like an 80% chance of winning. And so, Trayvon, that matches up with your record.
Wow.
You keep picking the ball off, and you will get away
Smart.
with a victory.
Cynthia, what do you like here?
So as of right now, I have it factored in that Dak is playing in this one. So I have a 1-point win, 28-27. That's with Dak. If it's
But
not
like an injured.
Close
injured
game
Dak. Because
with
obviously
Dak.
The computer
something's wrong.
model can make Dak a little injured. That's
Yep.
deep.
It's just not the full complement of snaps. So what you can, and actually Dak has some injury information that we can use in it. So when it would flip to be the Vikings though if Dak for some reason doesn't play, like a 2-point Vikings
We got a
win.
close game
it would flip.
anyways, 28-27, even if Dak is playing.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yes.
Greg, what do you
I
want?
love this game. Like I miss these teams during their bye week. I hope Dak is healthy. I'm going to assume Dak's playing, so I'm putting the
guys are
Cowboys
very
winning.
positive
But I'm
today.
going to
Okay.
talk positively about Kirk Cousins though. Remember that season when Andy Dalton showed up with like a faux hawk?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, something's a little different about
Swag
Andy this
Dalton.
year. This is a different Kirk Cousins. That was the last throw that he threw before the bye week. He had an underneath receiver wide open that he could have picked up a first down in overtime. Instead, he goes deep and gives KJ Osborne a chance to make a play, and he's done that all season with Justin Jefferson. I think he realizes how special his receivers are, and he's just throwing it up there for him, and they're making plays. I love this new Kid Cousins, so I think they put up points.
You want to switch?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying Dak is going to be right. If Dak's out, then I switch the pick. I'm not picking Dak.
By the way,
Samesies,
by the way, the routes
okay.
that Justin Jefferson runs, they tend to be away from where Trayvon Diggs has been, so that's also good for Kid Cousy.
I am not so hopeful about Dak actually playing. I don't think that he really should, especially with his injuries last year. You should just protect this man at all costs. Let him take a week off. I actually have a pretty big Vikings win. I kind of have the Vikings winning even if Dak was playing. Hear me out. Hear me out.
16
Hear
points.
me
There
out.
goes the kick we haven't seen in
The
a couple
Vikings
weeks.
could be in a world
Here's the kick.
6-0. Lost by 3 against Cincy, lost by 1 against the now finally defeated Cardinals, lost by a touchdown against the Browns. Zimmer is 6-2 against a #1 scoring defense.
Wow.
I feel like if Dak leaves, they're going to have these flashes of, oh my God, 2020, and they're going to start to panic and they're going to
Flip side, they also
gonna say,
won
could
2
you
games
also
on a field goal. They
do
could
that
be
the
1
other
and
way?
5.
this is what I'm going with, okay? I feel confident. Dak, I'm sorry, take the week off. Browns on to Cleveland, where the Brownies host the Steelers. Let's all just take a deep breath.
There you go.
Find some
Kyler
inner
Murray,
peace
maybe.
before this game chooses violence and chaos. Home team favored by 3.5 here. Cynthia, what do you like?
I'm going to go with 24-20, so a 4-point win for the Cleveland Browns. But I'm going to actually talk about Najee Harris and why he's not going to be as effective and efficient against this defense. Because if you look to see, since week 5, he's faced a light box on about 56% of plays. Before that, it was 45. The Browns don't use a light box very often, so you'd think, Najee's going to have a big game, good for the Steelers. However, they allow the fewest yards per rush when using a light box in the NFL, so it's not going to work. They're going to have to find a different way to use Najee, probably short passes.
Ooh, I like it when I'm on Cynthia's side because I have the Browns winning and going over that 3.5 points. I have them winning by 6. I broke down these two teams and I realized one team has Bill Callahan and one team does not. The offensive line coach for the Browns is the OG. Go look at his track record. When he is on a team, the running game is banging, and they are healthier up front. Nick Chubb is back. The offensive line is healthier. And Pittsburgh's been a little thin up front. I'm thinking of making this my write it down at the end of the show. I'm feeling big about the Browns this week.
Oh my gosh, you just turned a different color. You got very red while you were yelling about this. Hawk, what do you like here?
I like the Browns in a close victory here, 28-27. Listen, we've been doing this show for 3 years. You know how much of a development it's been to get Greg to the side of Cleveland Browns and to make it his write it down pick?
Right. That is like a transformation. That's how far y'all have come.
We've come a very long way. Listen, we do have the best running game, and I shouldn't say we. The Browns have the best running game in the league. I can. And
they literally cut you checks sometimes. So.
Sometimes.
Yeah, back in the day when I was dropping passes for them. Listen, they are the game debut of rushing attacks, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are also good against the run. They're number 7 in the league. So now I'm looking at Baker Mayfield in this passing game. You got to get going. You got to make these throws down the field. This is going to be the difference maker. We've seen him before he, was out last week. He missed some throws against the Arizona Cardinals, and it made the difference in the game. We know he's banged up. We don't need you to throw it all over the yard, but when the opportunity presents itself, make the passes, and you can walk out of here with a victory.
There you go. Clean sweep, meme alert. I'm taking the Brownies as well. I did not play for this team, but I do know when we play against the Steelers, these guys step up. Yeah, I can say we.
You can.
I can't. It's fine. I can't.
You can say it.
Big Ben this week was talking about how he used to be like the #1 scoring, whatever. He's talking his trash, okay? We all heard it. We're healthier. I feel like, you tell me, you played on this team. Don't you think that this is a game that you kind of circle on the calendar?
There's like a big brother, little brother thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
They've owned this team.
They did. You remember the Browns as the Browns from the playoffs a year ago. That was a really big deal. Trust me, the Steelers haven't forgotten that, and the Browns understand that they have to go in this with the right mentality to make sure that they know we're no longer the little brothers of the AFC
Game
North.
of the week, baby. Game of the week. All right, Cynthia, do the math.
I will do the math.
Do the math.
Do the math.
Whoa, we're yelling at me today. Deontay Johnson will have fewer than 68.5 receiving yards at the Browns. I love Mike Tomlin. This is an indictment of how he uses Deontay Johnson, but he's never had 5 consecutive games with 60 or more receiving yards in his career. Currently, he's done so in his last 4 games. Johnson leads Pittsburgh with 136 receiving yards on deep passes. By the way, Cleveland, 93.8 passer rating on deep passes, 14th lowest in the NFL. So it's just a bad matchup for Deontay Johnson in terms of the deep pass.
All right. Well, right here in Los Angeles, Chargers hosting the Patriots. Last year, Bill Belichick and crew knocked off the Bolts 45-0. This year, Chargers favored by 4 at home. Exciting team so far this year. Greg, what do you know?
I'm looking forward to this game. I got a big-time upset with the Patriots winning on the road. You know what Bill Belichick does?
We're all biased today.
Yeah, a little bit of a homer pick, but I love them to cover for 4 points at least. You know what Bill Belichick does throughout the course of the season? He throws out the bad plays. He's focusing on inside runs with Damian Harris now. No more of that outside zone we saw in the first month of the season, and they are great at it. They have really settled on an offensive line after shuffling a ton of pieces throughout the course of the season. They got Onwenu on the right side, and they're better on the interior now, and they're bringing the same offensive line back for the 2nd straight week. I think for the first time all season, and Harris is a baller, and I think he can run right up the gut of this Chargers team. Big time upset. Love it.
You know you're going to say something big when you're point.
Yeah, no control of my hand.
Hawk, what do you like here?
I'm going with the Chargers here. I have them winning 27-17. It does scare me because this Chargers rushing defense has not been very good. But I think the passing game for the Chargers is going to get back on track. They fell off against the Baltimore Ravens, but before that, they were one of the best attacks in the league. And a big reason for that is Mike Williams, leading this team in receiving almost 500 yards, 15 yards a catch. When your quarterback is Justin Go Long Herbert, if you're the deep threat, you guys are going to be best friends. Patriots love to play man-to-man. He has to come up with some big-time catches in this game.
Okay, well, I'm with you on that one. I don't have quite as big of it. You have a 10-point win.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Yeah,
I have
it is.
That's
what I do.
Wow.
a 3-point.
Okay, so you're with me
Okay,
at
nice and
least.
close.
That,
I'm with you.
Patriots cover. That's good.
26-23 is my final score in this one. Remember, the Chargers had the bye week, so they had a chance to get healthier here. They do have a not-so-great rush defense, as in it's like the worst in the league. However, figuring out how to, over the course of the bye week, you have Brandon Staley. He's your head coach, right? You're getting Drew Tranquill. He is on the injury report, but he'll probably be back as the linebacker. You've got your defensive tackle, who's maybe the best at stopping the run. He's going to be back, too. So, ultimately, I think that this one is a nice 3-point win.
3-point win.
Close game.
Wow. Okay, I've got a close game too, and I am giving it to the Chargers,
Yeah.
baby.
Yes.
You know what I love about Justin Herbert? He is 5-0.
He's your daddy.
He is your father.
Not
He birthed you.
my
He's
daddy.
your biological dad? No.
You know what I love about Justin Herbert? Not my daddy, number one. And two, he is 5-0 against teams that he has previously lost to. Do you remember Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison?
Yes.
When he's
Sure.
calling people and, writing the names off and putting the lipstick on? Justin Herbert is Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison, okay? He's got a list of people who he has lost to badly, and Bill Belichick and the Patriots are on that list. I want to see a win out of this guy so bad. Give me the Chargers. Okay, next on Game Day View, we've got proppers, picks for Saints Bucks, and I have a truly out-of-body experience as Gronk, unfortunately. Stick around. Let's talk individuals in proper performances. Let's take a look at Fanduel's projected lines for passing yards in Week 8. We got Tommy B, Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford. Who do you want to talk about, Cynthia?
The funny part is they're all lower than
A lot of under.
Oh, wow. Hater this week.
hater. Maybe for these 5. But the one I want to focus on here is a guy that we talked about a little bit earlier with Kirk Cousins. And part of the reason why that 281 falls below 297.5 is due to the fact that Dak Prescott is at least injured, if not not playing, and that will mean that there'll be more rushing attempts by both teams. This is not really any indictment of Kirk Cousins. It's not saying he's not going to do a good job. It's just saying that the game script would now dictate that this is going to be a much quicker game because they're going to run it more.
When they have the lead, the Vikings, they go in a shell. It drives me crazy. Mike Zimmer does not want you to go over 297. He wants Kirk Cousins to just be handing the ball off.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for receiving yards in Week 8. Who do we got? Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore. What do you like here?
So I want to talk about Stephon Diggs here because it's kind of close to where that number is. The other ones are all, I guess except for DJ Moore, they're all over the number there. The interesting part about Stephon Diggs is this one has a super high ceiling. It's not going to be one of those games where you're going to say, okay, well, Stephon Diggs, like last year where it was like all of the targets to him, they've been passing it around a lot more often. But without Dawson Knox, he does forecast to get more passes. So again, this one, it's kind of one of those where the interesting part here is there'll be very efficient yards is the way to put this, right? Not like just tons and tons of targets. It's going to be efficient yards in that passing game.
What do you guys think? You like that?
I'm going more for Diggs.
They've lit up the Dolphins in general. Brian Flores, Sean McDermott, it's been a tough situation for the
I think they got to figure out the different passes to different people without Knox because I don't know how long he'll be gone.
All right, let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for rushing yards in Week 8. We got the king, Derrick Henry.
What?
Yes.
District.
Excusez-moi.
Only 94.
Who do you want to talk about here?
Well, I mean, we could talk about Derrick Henry. We'll get to him a little bit later, I'm sure. But Darrell Henderson, that number is conservative. It could be even higher. By the way, the Ezekiel Elliott one, too. Interesting that it could be even higher if there's no Dak Prescott. But when you look to see how they're using Darrell Henderson, he's like the NFC leader in rush yards. Like, people kind of quietly forget this. It just seems like we aren't talking about that enough, maybe because Derrick Henry is like just crushing all of the yards. But this is an interesting, I think that number is very.
I remember we put
low.
Darrell Henderson on the sneaky good players like 3 weeks into his career. He's got juice.
Oh, wow.
I love watching him play.
Good for you guys. All right, let's move on to this next game. This should be fun. Bucks at Saints in New Orleans on All Hallows Eve. Shout out to everyone dressing as tequila-fueled Tom Brady on Bourbon Street. It's a great Halloween costume, actually. Tampa favored by 4.5. Hawk, what do you like here?
I like that costume. I've been dressing like that all year
Oh,
long.
boy.
I like the Bucks here.
That was my 2020 costume.
28-20. Look, the Saints played the Seahawks last week, and the Seahawks had a very interesting strategy. They said, you know what? We're not going to give the ball to any of our wide receivers because they're very good, and that would make sense, which is why they lost. Tom Brady won't be doing that because he loves to feed his wide receivers. 21 touchdown passes this year, only 3 interceptions, and more time. That O-line gives him more time in the pocket than an iPhone. He is going to go off. So the Saints better be ready for it, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to walk away with the big
That was good.
That was good.
That was so
I've been workshopping that one all
That was
week.
so good. I hope it was pre-written. I hope
Yeah.
that was an ad-lib
I like
because it was too good.
That's good. I only have a 3-point win for the Bucks in this one, 27-24. Why? Because, well, if you saw last year, the Saints got both of the wins against the Bucks. And what did they do? They brought Cam Jordan like just off the edge. That's all about that pressure. But I've been watching this O-line for the Bucks, and you're totally right. The iPhone pocket analogy was absolutely perfect. I do think what Cam Jordan does really well is that like double thing, like where he'll make contact first, then he'll recoil, then he'll go around the edge really fast. And I think they have something a little bit special and ready for that now that, you know, you have a second-year player in their O-line, and so you're getting a little more used to what Cam Jordan, the juice he's bringing.
Saints defense got that juice. I have almost the exact same score as Cynthia. I mean, the model in my brain, it's locked in today.
Bucks?
3-point win for the Bucks, but the Saints defense, I think, holds Tom Brady down. So it's not going to be a big offensive game. Think about Marcus Davenport coming back. Cam Jordan, you mentioned. David Onyemata is coming off suspension. Last year in this game, they beat them 38-3 around this time of the season, Week 9. In the opener, they shut them down. Even in the playoffs, when the Bucks got their win, Tom Brady was under 200 yards, and it was really the Bucks defense forcing a lot of turnovers. Dennis Allen and this defense is underrated. They're very good at mixing coverages and having cohesion and not making mental mistakes, and that's what Tom Brady hates. Still think the Bucks win because, you know, it's Tom Brady, but it's low scoring, and the Saints cover.
All right, I like the Saints defense as well. They're only allowing about 16 points per game. Show my pick. I can't watch. Just show it. Just
Do
put
it.
it up.
Do
Just
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm going
what?
safe.
That's not crazy.
No,
I didn't
I
have
love
the guts
it.
for it.
It kept me
That
up
was
all night.
I
I
mean, none of
originally
us would
picked
do
the
it.
Bucks. And I went waffled over it all night long. Jameis, he said, I love Jameis. He said that, this is just like every other game. It doesn't matter that I'm playing my old team, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then literally 2 days later, he was like, this is a very important game to me. I'm not going to lie. Like, he had to lie about it. That is how important this game is to him. Okay, I know that pick was a little scary, but what I'm about to show you is pretty messed up. Okay, if you've got children in the room, hide them. Okay, they don't want to see this. Roll the clip.
This fall, a movie so shocking it will have you asking, should Halloween be canceled? It all started with a tweet.
She wants to be a football player. Careful what you wish for, little miss.
I'm sorry, what?
It's All Hallows Eve. Spooky things start to happen.
From the studio that brought you much, much better things. NFL Network presents Freaky Sunday.
Oh, sorry. Not me. Not me.
Please, can I just have a handshake?
A woman trapped in a man's body.
I'm huge.
Gronk is suing everyone that had anything to do with this.
No, take a picture with you. What's happening?
I just wanted you to hold the door.
Get ready for what critics are calling the worst scary movie ever made. Who said yes to this? Gronk is back, baby. Freaky Sunday, coming out this Halloween.
If I never get to do a sketch at NFL Network again, that was worth it. I survived becoming Gronk, but how will you survive your Survivor pool? Cynthia and Greg's suggestions on next. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
I hate it.
It was bad.
Everyone. That was great. That was great.
All right, let's help you out with Survivor pools and survive in advance. Cynthia ran 300,000 simulations, and these are her top
300,000.
5
Told you I have no
outright
life.
winners for Week 8. Cynthia, explain.
Well, look, when you look to see, this is a lot of simulations. It's almost as many jobs as Hawk has here.
Yeah.
Oh.
These are the most likely team to just win the game, right? Like, so when you run it this many times, this is the teams that are the most likely to win. I'm going to keep it really simple here, and I'm going to go with the Rams over the Texans in this one. That's my number 2 highest percentage win. Well, part of the reason why, did you see what happens when you were playing for a team, would you ever have tweeted out, like when someone else got traded, "That's BS"?
Spicy.
No.
Seems like things there are going really great.
Yeah,
that
sounds. Actually, I would have on my team.
Yeah.
Which is why we would love it.
Yeah, which is why.
We probably were on that every
Keep it
week.
simple.
This show. So those are Cynthia's teams. Greg, do you have a sneaky good team to use?
I do, and it's the Seahawks, and it's Geno Smith. Sometimes it's like you look at the word survivor. It's like I want to feel a little more alive. I want to live on the edge here. Like, let's just wake up. Like, life is too flatline. Plus, the Seahawks showed up on Cynthia's 5 most likely winners projections. They were 5th there because in survivor pools, I think people get twisted. You're not really picking the teams that win. You're picking against the bad teams. That's why I saw, Rachel, you picked the Cardinals in yours this week, and that was unfortunate. But that you don't want to pick against Aaron Rodgers.
Thanks for bringing that up, Greg. Thank you. Great. Let's move on. Suddenly a big one for the AFC South in Indy as the Colts host the Titans. Tennessee is rolling, but the line has shifted to the Colts as a 2.5-point favorite. Cynthia, what do you like in this one?
I'm with the line. I have the Colts winning this one in a close victory, 1.25 to 20. I was actually surprised by this as well, although there is no Julio Jones, so not that we've really been expecting him. He kind of hasn't been around this season. But I do want to talk about Michael Pittman Jr. He caught all of the passes that were targeted to him last game. An interesting note here, because that helps keep Carson Wentz rolling. The O-line is coming together really nicely. Jonathan Taylor is kind of who we thought he was going to be at the beginning of the season. So the run game and the passing game working together in this run-first offense is really going to be the difference maker. And remember, the Titans, their defensive backs are who's even playing for all of them? They're very banged up. So ultimately, that's going to be a nice pick for this one.
I've got the Colts winning this game too. I wouldn't say I would take Jonathan Taylor over Derrick Henry in general.
Who said
But
that?
I would this week.
Wow. Oh.
I would this week.
I was like, I didn't
The
say
model
that.
said that, he said.
Jonathan Taylor is going up against the Titans defense, whereas Derrick Henry's playing against the #1 rush defense in the league, according to EPA, Football Outsiders. Jonathan Taylor's got elite vision and burst. Like, you see it. Like, I love Derrick Henry, but I'd rather watch just Jonathan Taylor. He is a baller, and they're getting healthier. T.Y. Hilton is going to be back for this team. Braden Smith, the right tackle, is going to be back. It's the healthiest the Colts have been all season.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Titans this week. And I'm going to mix it up a little bit because I called you an idiot for going for
No,
the
we'll
Titans.
get to that when I'm.
Oh,
it's my
okay, so
turn
you already
to
have
talk.
that.
No, we're good.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going over the Titans here. I'm going 33 to 24. I just was notified we don't have my Derrick Henry working out tape, but I am not a data scientist like Cynthia is. I didn't run 300,000 simulations.
It just means I paid too much for grad school.
Yeah, I ran one simulation. It was Russell Wilson style, invisible football, by myself, acting like the Titans quarterback. And what happened was crazy. I turned around and I gave the ball to Derrick Henry every single time, which is what the Titans should do against the Colts. It's not rocket science.
No.
Just give Derrick Henry the ball, and that's your best bet of winning.
I agree. I don't think that they've been able to figure out Derrick Henry the last 4 games. I think he's rushed for well over 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns. But my question is, anybody got an apology for me this week?
What?
Anybody? I did.
Oh, that you got the
I
Titans
just feel
right?
like I really went on a limb last week and picked the Titans over the Chiefs, and I think I
I'll
was called some
congratulate
names.
you, but I didn't
called
call you
some
an
names.
idiot, so I don't need to apologize. But
called some
I'll
names.
congratulate
Who
you.
would call you an idiot?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No one would use such words.
Why would you use that kind of
That's
language?
just interesting.
Yeah.
Congratulations, but not idiot.
Our
No,
group
I
chat
didn't-
was very fun for me on Sunday. Let's just say that. Cynthia, let's do the math on Carson Wentz.
Well,
what do you got?
It's kind of interesting. Carson Wentz is forecasted to throw for more than 246.5 passing yards. I think this is one of the first times he's kind of been forecast for the over in my model, but he's never had under 245 passing yards against the same team twice. So they already, lost to Tennessee in week 3. And on deep passes, he leads the NFL. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Deep passes, he leads the NFL.
Wow.
140.9 passer rating and ranks second behind Stafford with 20.1 passing yards per attempt. So the next-gen stats back it up, too. It's not just my model. No one's an idiot here.
No,
Not an idiot.
Not
Not
your
on this
model.
panel.
No.
Also not an idiot, Frank Reich. Never been swept by Mike
Gerard
Vrabel.
Johnson.
In 4 years, they've never swept him. Not going to do it.
Gerard Johnson, too. We got to get his name out there.
Okay.
All right, easy for you, Carson Wentz. 49ers Bears will be in Chicago, though Matt Nagy's whereabouts still unknown, and he wants it that way. San Francisco favored by 3.5 here.
True.
Greg.
I like the 49ers to win, but not to cover in this game. I just don't trust the 49ers at all right now to be a heavy favorite on the road. I just want to talk about Allen Robinson, though. He was a guest on our show, and I just want him to find a new home. So this is me just telling any general managers that watch. They text Cynthia when she picks against their team, so they must be watching. Go get Allen Robinson. He's not doing anything in Chicago this year. He's a guy who needs his quarterback to give him chances because he's not a big separation guy, but he's a great catch point guy. And, man, I think he could improve some team out there. This is the problem, though, with the Bears. They have a GM and a coach that aren't incentivized to think about the future because they might not be around for the future. But I hope they do. Let Allen be free.
Okay.
You both called for some people's jobs in this one.
Spicy.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I like it. I like you.
Not exactly. I said it might not be. It may not be there.
I
That's
like
not
you
breaking
addressing
news.
them directly because I'm going to do the same thing. I don't have. This is off script. Cynthia, read my notes about the Bears.
I'm
What do you
nervous.
see there?
It's empty.
It's blank. So
It says candy corn.
This is off the top. This is for Justin
Mounds.
Fields. I'm going to pick with my heart here. I'm going with the Bears. And there's not really a rhyme or reason to it. I just feel like you're a competitor. Listen to me. If you're watching this, after this show, don't listen to sports media. We don't know what we're talking about. We have no bearing
Watch this
on the
one,
game.
but then after that,
But after this show, you could turn it off.
Yeah.
Just go out there and play your game, Justin. The best quarterbacks have their biggest games after they've had a down one. You seen what he did versus the Browns. He came back the next week versus the Lions.
Yeah.
Looked like a different player. Last week was a tough week against the best quarterback of all time in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go out there, play your game. I believe in you.
Wow.
Big game this week. Hawks going with the Bears.
I like
And my
that,
producer,
actually.
Tan, really loves that.
Okay. I like that.
Well, I have only a 1-point win for the San Francisco 49ers, so 20 to 9.
Kinda the same.
It's similar. It's
Yes.
showing a similar trajectory in this one. Interestingly enough, when I look to see what's kind of under the radar here, we aren't talking enough about Deebo Samuel, who, in a lot of different receiver metrics, he's kind of way up there. And for whatever reason, especially for your fantasy team, for when we talk about who's got top 5 in receiving yards and all that, we forget about him. So I'm going to give him his shine here, and I'm going to say that those people who text me about Allen Robinson, they're not on good teams necessarily.
Oh.
Maybe we'll
Okay.
go. It's a good team to be.
He's calling out a lot of
Come
people.
on, go with the Bears with me.
Oh. No, I'm so sorry.
insecure
You're
one
going to be
next.
flying solo this week on the Bears because I am going 49ers. Watching that rainy game last weekend, you got to think that these guys, nothing is going to be more difficult than this, playing in this absolute downpour. Somebody was wearing scuba goggles in this game. Did you see that? Jimmy G is going to be coming out of this game and going to be like, Chicago, no problem. I am going to finally play some good football. Justin Fields, I don't mean to say more bad things about him because now you made me feel bad.
Yeah, well, he's
Sacked
watching,
22 times, not being protected at all. This San Francisco defense is rubbing their hands together. Ready
Trey
to
Lance is going to be active
take a
for
bite.
this game.
Could be Trey
Might be
Lance.
a little bit of Trey Lance.
Could
Probably
be
as
Trey
the backup, but mix him in.
Very fun.
Justin Fields feel like they should have drafted him, though.
Ooh.
That's a narrative you did.
It's a revenge game as a rookie.
I wonder
You don't
how
see
he
that.
would be doing now. All right, next on Game Day View, a few of us have the Lions getting their first win over the Eagles. Cynthia's just going to leave for that segment because she can't handle it. Find out who and why after this break.
It's National Tight End Day, so you know we're gonna go in, all right? We setting the tone today.
Ball out and eat, man.
Y'all make some noise, we'll put on the show.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Block, release, catch, spike, touchdown.
National Tight End Day. Hey, go crazy, man.
This guy's pretty good at football. Way to be physical. I've been watching Joe's film, trying to learn from the best. You gotta go high, then low. High, then low.
Let's make sure we keep playing like that. Hey, I done told y'all.
This game on Natty Tight End Day. That was fun.
It's time for Perfect Pair Ignited by Smirnoff Vodka number 21. Each week, we are going to add a little spice to games with big spreads that we all agree on. We start with Bengals, Jets. We've all got the Bengals. Hawk, what else do you like there?
My perfect pair here is I'm going with my guy Joe Burrow to rush for more than 6.5 yards. Big running day
Yeah, you got this.
for Joe Burrow. Joe
Joey
Burrow,
B.
put those legs on display.
He's been moving well. Like, in all seriousness, the first couple weeks of the season felt like he was kind of just taking those sacks. Now he's getting out of the pocket and looking good.
And the strength of the Jets team is their defensive front. So there are going to be some pressures coming his way, and he will have to run away from that. I love
Plus, this makes every play exciting because any play could be a 7-yard run.
Exactly.
It could happen any time.
There you go. There you go. Cynthia, what do you like?
Okay, so I like the Bills to win 31-17, and Josh Allen to throw for more than 283.5 yards in this matchup.
Balls out.
Usually if you win by that much, like the quarterback isn't throwing for that many yards, but it's a contrarian kind of situation here because I think we've finally started to see this Bills offense open up, and we need to see a little more of those connections, especially with Dawson. It keeps like hammering home that like Dawson Knox is out here, but I do think that matters, meaning Emmanuel Sanders will step up. We'll see a little bit more Cole Beasley. We haven't seen him folded in this year as much as we used to. And Gabriel Davis is going to catch those fast passes in the end zone.
Greg, what is your perfect pair?
Mine is the Rams winning big. All of us have these big-time favorites covering the big spreads, which has been happening a lot this year. And I also am pairing that with a rough Davis Mills game. It's not personal at this point.
Seems personal. This is the second time you've done it.
It's just the numbers. So he's played 5 games, right?
Yep. Yeah.
In 3 of those games, the Texans did not score a touchdown. Not just him, but the Texans did not score one. And in one other, they just scored 1 touchdown. So that's just the numbers. That's my model. 4 out of 5, that's 80%. Do it.
Things seem like they're going great for the Texans.
Sorry, Davis Mills. It's not us, it's Greg. All right, my perfect pair is Chiefs to win 31-14 over the Giants. But what I love is Daniel Jones more than 28.5 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts ran for 47 against the Chiefs. Josh Allen ran for 59 against the Chiefs. Daniel Jones has had 27 rushing yards or more in 3 games this season.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Turn on the wheels, baby.
He's good.
The
what
Chiefs
does the model
don't stop
have?
anyone.
Exactly.
Right? I think Daniel Jones could have a little bit of a coming out party of everyone recognizing.
He could easily have 50.
Daniel Jones is good.
You could easily
Put
double
up 30.
it. Yeah.
Double it. Let's live a little. I'm kidding. That's not my pick. That was perfect pair ignited by Smirnoff Vodka number 21. Try Smirnoff's Mule Kick Moscow Mule for a delicious and celebratory cocktail while home gating. And please drink responsibly. Time for quick picks. You know, I went to Moscow, couldn't find a single Moscow Mule in Moscow. They didn't know what it was. We've been being lied to about something I don't know.
Like a real mule or a drink?
I was
said,
Moscow.
Can I have a Moscow Mule in Moscow? And they're like, we've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Sorry. Panthers at Falcons. Atlanta favored by 3 at home. And I am the only one on...
Ooh.
Oh, you're at the Panthers.
How about a Lonetta?
Alonetta? Ooh. I like that. Falcons, I just don't see the Panthers
I
getting
suggested that like 3 weeks ago. You guys said it was stupid.
It is.
It's all in the delivery.
I
How
just
you
say that. I still believe Cynthia when she said that Carolina Panthers are contenders and not pretenders.
Even though they got whooped by the Giants last week?
I just think it was a weird week.
Cynthia and I have the
Falcons
Panthers
have
covering.
overtaken
This does
Jets,
feel about as much of a
Giants.
coin flip as you can get.
This is pretty coin flippy, for sure. And to me, the difference is the O-line is a little healthier for the Falcons. That's the only thing that changed in this one.
If there's a defense Sam Darnold can look better against, it's this Falcons.
It would be great if Christian McCaffrey were playing, things would be way different. Sure.
Absolutely.
You should flip.
But he's not.
No, I don't want to flip.
Okay.
I like those Falcons.
We've only gotten one flip out of him, or no, we have not. Not a
Yeah, you
single
did.
one.
Just
You
one.
did.
One?
The
And
Raiders.
it worked.
We need to count
That's it.
those. All right, this next one, Eagles at Lions,
Get me
Philly
outta here.
favored. But 3 of us say the Lions get the first win, including Cynthia.
Lions fan.
This must have been so painful for you.
Bias all around the board today. We're all
hate
picking
this.
our favorite team.
They look
I literally hate
happy.
I
Why
literally
do you
hate
think
this.
the model picks it?
The model picked it because their running backs are like second in the league in terms of rushing yards, second to the Browns, and I don't love this. I'm going to be honest with you. I hate this. If it were my gut picking, it would definitely be the Eagles. So
you're saying like I get to be a lone wolf or whatever we call it with me
Single row.
against a winless Lions team? Like that's a win right there. I
don't
like
know.
that.
I saw Cynthia getting excited last weekend against
I
the
did.
Rams. There was some
I have
tweets,
hope
people. Receipts are there.
Once the game starts, I'm a fan for like 3 quarters because they play well, and then after that, the fourth quarter sucks. Right? This is not 2015 with Megatron on Thanksgiving. This is not. That was a good game for Lions fans. That was the last good game we've ever had.
We picked all our favorite teams. I think that's really cool. It might be the first time ever. Write it down.
Team, I hate the Lions.
Beautiful, actually. Washington at Broncos. Denver is a 3.5-point favorite, and we are pretty split here. Hawk, why do you like Washington?
Because the Broncos' wins all came over terrible teams at the beginning of the season. And I just think, hey, I coin flip this one.
It never works out when
Throw a
Hawk and I
dart.
are together. We've noticed that. Like
Yeah,
when we team
we're gonna
up,
lose now.
that's a bad sign. But I'm shocked that they're such big underdogs. Their front four looked good last week, too. I thought it was the best they looked all year, Washington.
Cynthia, why do you like the Broncos?
I like the Broncos because they've been able to run pretty effectively with Pookie, a.k.a. Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Great.
They get
That's
Jerry
his
Jeudy
nickname.
back this
Great.
week, probably.
Cortland Sutton, fine.
All right, Jags at Seahawks. Gino and the Birds favored by 3.5 here, and we are all going Seahawks.
Meme
But
alert.
you feel particularly good about it, Greg.
Gino. Look, if Pete Carroll with this talent, they have talent on this team, can't beat the Jaguars, who have been the worst team in the NFL by a decent amount, and it needed a lot to go right to get their first win, then I don't know what's going to happen
I'd be afraid
in
to see
Seattle.
the headlines post if they lost this game.
I believe in Gino. Gino, get this win, and then Russell comes back after the bye, and you bought yourself 5 more years in the league.
Yep.
Get this win.
Don't have to take a snap.
It's a big game.
Jag fans, also Lions fans this week.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Next on Game Day View, we are talking point totals for the biggest games of Week 8. Stick around! Make every NFL moment more with Fanduel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can win $125 on a $5 bet if either team scores a touchdown in this week's Cowboys Vikings game. It is that simple. Bet $5 to win $125 if either team scores a touchdown.
2-on-1. That's the goal. Let's go.
They don't want to respect us, dog. We don't care about who respects us or not, dog. Because after today, they're going to feel us.
Throws the screen, has a blocker. Here comes Eckler. Touchdown, Chargers.
Here's the kick. It is up. It is good.
Pressure coming, gets the pass away. Caught ball 50. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Antonio Brown.
Shotgun snap. Short throw caught by Andrews. They get the 2 and they tie the game.
Okay, it's time for Predict the Points presented by Fanduel Sportsbook. So we're not putting our hands in these anymore.
I am.
You know, you think aren't these yours?
I am.
No,
That's the whole point
They
of it.
here now.
They're
We don't know what
everybody's.
We don't know what happens to them during the week.
No.
I've never looked inside. Actually.
Wow.
Okay, we're starting with Cowboys at Vikings, 51.5 points. I'm going more.
If Dak doesn't, can we put a ting asterisk here? Less. if
Oh, I'm
no
going
Dak.
less.
Right. Without Dak, I would switch
Without
it up.
Dak.
But this is
with
more.
Dak. No.
My
Yes.
spidey senses say
Dak.
Dak.
No Dak.
You
Dak. No Dak.
really
I
think
think
that
he
Dak
plays
is
too.
going to play?
I think a banged up.
I don't think they know.
So.
I don't think they
Dak?
know. We don't know.
I
No one
think
knows.
he does not, for the sake of his body.
It could get in the 60s though if he does.
Right.
Just
Dak.
call me Dr. Bonetta. I'll charge you a lot of money. All right, Steelers at Browns, 42.5 points. I am going.
What? Why are you going less?
Less. I'm going less. I'm hoping that our defense can stop the Steelers, and Baker is still injured.
Why are you
Long Browns offensive drives running the ball, and then the Steelers, like the ceiling on their potential offensively seems so low.
Why are you guys
So
going more?
Because 42 is low.
42 is a low.
That is true. It is a low number. You're right.
It's a great rushing attack that is the Cleveland.
Let's go! I'm just kidding. You don't have to change it. I'm still going left. Patriots at Chargers, 49.5. This is right next door.
Yeah.
Bleep, bloop, bleep.
More. Hawk, why are you going left? Hawk,
Because
why?
Cynthia's going less. And she
Cynthia?
has a model that
I
can
saw
improve
Austin
her
Eckler appear on the injury report this past couple of hours ago, so I'm a little scared about that one. But I think this is more of a defensive matchup, especially if no Eck.
Brandon Staley was hopeful that Eckler will play. I think they're being careful. And the Patriots offense is getting their stuff together. They're an offensive team,
But
not a defensive team.
Run means less.
Okay.
Okay. Bucks at Saints, 49.5 points. Bleep.
I feel like 49.5 was the perfect number.
49.5 is the perfect number.
I had it right at
Rachel, why are you
50.
going less?
I am going less because I hope that the Saints are able to stop the Bucks, but I don't think that Jameis is going to be able to put up a huge number.
Does Jameis throw a pick?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going yes as well. The Saints only average about, what did I say, 16 points allowed per game? I think that they can maybe do some damage against Tom Brady.
They play conservative too, right? Like Jameis is doing well because he's not playing like Jameis.
They're not playing like
he's
the Saints.
giving what the defense gives.
Yeah.
He's taking what the defense gives him, and it's lower points. but
Love you,
they're doing
Jameis.
well.
Love you.
Marquez Callaway touchdown. I think that's a good one.
Ooh.
Like that.
You know, okay, full fantasy note.
Titans at Colts, 51.
This is my favorite one of the week by far in terms of
My favorite one of the week.
Really?
Why? You're the only one on less.
Why are you on
Why
less?
going
These
less?
are two offensive teams right now.
Yeah, you're riding by
They
yourself.
can't stop Derrick Henry.
Okay, well, I like when I'm alone.
Yeah.
When I'm all by myself, it works out for me usually. It's all about the run game, right? You got to get who's going to get that run game going. And of course, we saw A.J. Brown start to come together with Ryan Tannehill. But remember, the tackles are gone on that one. A little harder to, pass the ball when the tackles are.
Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, 49ers at Bears, 39.5. Hawk, you are the only one that is saying more.
Yeah, because I'm the only one who believes in Justin Fields.
Whoa! You want to shout him out again?
Shout you out, Justin Fields.
I actually think he turned off the TV after
No.
you told him to.
Well, that's good because he takes direction well. He's great taking coaching.
Ah.
He's a smart kid.
Okay.
So he doesn't know you're saying this.
39.5
I'll
is
send
a
it.
low number as
I'll
well.
tweet it and make sure.
Yeah, make
somebody
sure he
sees
sees it.
Yeah.
We do love Justin Fields.
Candy corn.
Candy corn, exactly. Okay, when it comes to betting, it pays to have a solid game plan. To learn more about responsible betting, visit responsibleplay.org. Next on Game Day View, we are closing up shop with some important info. Write this down. Is after the break. Grab your pen and paper. on Game Day View, it is time for Drive to Excellence, presented by Mercedes EQ. Did I mention this is my favorite part of the show? Did I mention that?
Rachel Bennett.
Guys, I needed this. I needed this. Okay.
Great job, Rachel. Congratulations.
Congrats. I was 9-4 against the spread.
And I'm still in last place.
But it was.
But Cynthia gets the crown.
I told you I needed
Remember last week when I had a crown?
No, the Titans came through for you in the clutch. That's great. That was
I
really
saw
great.
Scott Hansen. He says he watches this show, and he's like, you got to get that crown. I'm getting trash talked by Scott Hansen.
The nicest guy in the building is trash talking you? Goodness. Okay, it is time for Write This Down. This is mine. It's a little bit of a cheeky pick. Big Ben less than 251.5 passing.
I like it.
Picking with your heart.
I like
Not
it.
just cheeky. That's right. That's easy.
All right, I'm going Tyler Lockett. Didn't get a lot of love last week. Going to get his love this week. More than 45.5 yards.
That's not a lot.
That's a lot for him compared to last week.
It's a lot of disrespect to Gino.
That's a lot of.
He'll get it.
What'd you do? I like it. Mine is that your guy Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He's going to have more than 261.5 passing yards.
Wow.
Ooh.
I like it.
He snaps.
Yeah.
And I'm finishing with Jameis. He's been the theme today. More than 254 passing yards. It's like calories. I don't know if they'll all be good yards, but he's going to get yards in this game, even if he turns the ball over.
No picks? Are you saying no picks?
No, I didn't mention anything about picks.
But I'm asking
riding
you. I'm putting you on the spot.
I've had 3 in a row with Write It Down, so people really should write it down.
Or no pick.
You did a lot of picks.
Or no
Yeah,
pick.
one or two picks.
Or no pick.
Like 302
One or
picks.
two picks. Two picks.
2 picks. Okay, guys, happy Halloween. Thank you for watching Game Day View. Eat candy corn because it's a perfectly fine Halloween
Disgusting.
candy, okay? Just stop. Bye.